middle school, early adolescence, all the things that children are coping with. There is a mismatch between early adolescence developmental needs and the kinds of experiences that happen in most junior high schools or middle schools. Middle schools should be developmentally appropriate. Let me give you an example. Now, here are some old junior high schools, which was seen as another spot on the conveyor belt to high school and then spit out the other end. Boop. Children need a close affiliation with an institution, a feeling that they belong. Traditionally, we create these large, depersonalized, I call them shopping mall schools. Young adolescents need to interact with groups and practice, learn social skills. You need to teach social skills. Instead, students are often kept isolated. We say, no talking and no instruction or talk of social skills. When they need it the most, we tend to give it to them the least. They need to understand these interpersonal skills if we want them to be good people. They need to develop autonomy. Traditionally, we gave adolescents few opportunities to make choices and punitive approaches to discipline instead of learning the appropriate response, teachable moments. They need to expand their cognitive challenge, a chance to demonstrate competency in more than one way, ways other than homework assignments, worksheets, and tests. Traditionally, the work has focused largely on memorization of facts, standardized curriculum. Here it is, you burp it back to me, you replicate. They need to develop self-confidence and a healthy identity. This is who I am, this is what I am good at. Traditionally, we have given them labels. This is what you are. And we have defined their academic self based on how far they are from the mythical norm. Here's the bell-shaped curve. Here's 50%. You're this far above or that far below. You're 20th percentile. You're 65th percentile. We describe them in terms of numbers. So the idealized middle school, it would be a nurturing center, less departmentalization, fewer teachers, smaller groups. We'd have 2 or 3 teachers teaching across subjects. Positive human relationships between the teacher and the student. That relationship would be nurturing. Teaching starts with a relationship. You would even teach relationship skills. The curriculum would be built around social interaction. That's where they're at. Cooperative learning would be used to enhance learning. Some curriculum, activities, experiences that are student initiated. All right? That means independent studies, and there's a structure for that. You do not just say, okay, what do you want to learn about? You create the structure so children can have these independent investigations, these inquiries. And I'll talk about that another time. We need to give a variety of ways for students to demonstrate their learning. Not simply taking a test or doing a worksheet, but speech, art, drama, inquiry, posters, poetry, all ways to demonstrate knowledge. Creativity, yes. We would use writer's workshop, reader's workshop, and if you don't know about that, buy my book. These are open-ended, inquiry, and a lot of independent research. Children in middle school still need to read, practice reading. They need instruction on how to read textbooks, and they need to touch the minds of other people going through similar situations. So in reading workshop, I would have them reading books about adolescents making difficult choices so they can identify and enhance their strategies of what to do. I would have them, I'll be more specific here, reading books about adolescents making choices about relationship, about sex, about alcohol, about drinking, about friendship. So they realize that other people are going through the same thing. They're not so weird. This is called addressing the inner curriculum. This is called teaching. This is called what students need and when. Collaborative work and cooperative learning activities, I've already hit on that. And then internships. Internships working out in the community where they can develop autonomy and self-responsibility as well as specific skills in areas of their interest. If they're interested in mechanics, get them out in the garage working with a mechanic. It doesn't have to be all semester, but it can be an experience. Even if it's a 1-week experience, it is good. And as Dewey says, the walls between classroom and reality should fade away. That's the idealized education. Now, high school kids, remember, it is natural for them to challenge authority. They are strengthening the self. They are becoming self-dependent versus adult-dependent. It's developmentally appropriate for them to think their parents are idiots. At this stage, they are developing their values. They can't simply take on adult or society's values with any sort of strength. These won't stick. Questioning values is very important in strengthening and identifying their own values. Hence, activities like moral dilemmas and values clarifications are very important. They are developing their personal identity. Who do they want to become professionally? What do they value? Their sexual identity, social identity, and personal identity. Activities or times to explore these. Sexual identity, people may be a little nervous about that, so I don't insist that be part of the curriculum. But their personal, social, emotional, possible professional identity should definitely be addressed. Interpersonal skills. How do I manage my emotions? How do I relate to others? How do I form relationships? School has become just cognitive. And we are more than just brains and a spinal cord. How to be a good human being. And intrapersonal skills. Intra means going within, understanding my unconscious, myself, my emotions. That's intrapersonal. This is the end of part 8. We've talked about developmentally appropriate education.